a court ordered a search warrant on a former president's home to retrieve documents that were part of the president's records. Now, you could debate whether the documents should have been retained or not, but it was unprecedented in scope. But what I want to do in this broadcast today is tell you how this whole thing is unprecedented in scope. If you remember, Merrick Garland decided that he was going to appoint last year a special counsel to review the document possession by President Trump, former President Trump, at Mar-a-Lago. That was the appointment of a special counsel. That special counsel is Jack Smith. He also appointed a special counsel to look at documents being handled by President Biden, because initially they found some in a house, then they found some in a warehouse, then they found some in an office, then they found some in a garage. A special counsel there. A special counsel, by the way, we have never heard from in almost a year. Nothing. But we've heard a lot from the special counsel in the other case, and that is Jack Smith. And that's a familiar name to those of us at the American Center for Law and Justice.
The DOJ, members of the House and Senate, these elites are intent on doing one thing: distorting the truth or preventing, in the alternative, truthful speech by American citizens. And so the American citizens need to basically wake up and basically make sure that their voices are heard against the voices of the DOJ and the other elites in Washington who are basically intent on cracking down on speech and Americans' constitutional rights.
When the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, decided they were going to target conservative organizations by establishing, you ready for this, a be on the lookout list, and it had certain names: Patriot, Life, Freedom, Liberty, 9/11. There was a list of names, and from that, hundreds of organizations were then put under a special audit program by the Internal Revenue Service. But you know why they wanted to do all of this? Was to shut down what they saw as advocacy based on a Supreme Court decision in the Citizens United case. So they decided to target specifically conservative groups. Lois Lerner, very familiar name. We're going to play some of her sound in the next segment of the broadcast. Familiar name because she was the head of the tax-exempt division. She famously wrote that she wanted to put this together, put a series of cases together. Lois Lerner was trying to piece together, these were her words that we have in emails, put them up on the screen, piece together cases, criminal cases, against these organizations. Who was she talking to about doing this? Guess who? Special counsel Jack Smith.
The approach that Jack Smith has taken in each and every case undermines the Constitution and undermines our fundamental liberties. Jay, the First Amendment states clearly that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or press. Second, we are all entitled to the presumption of innocence. Jack Smith has essentially reversed all of those presumptions.
This was absurd. It was just targeting and trying to silence, through a criminal case, advocacy from nonprofits engaged in free speech activities, which includes petitioning the government for redress of grievances. All that was going on. So you had this, it was the Tea Party groups and other conservative organizations. Lois Lerner was the IRS chief under Obama in the tax-exempt division, and they got caught. I'm tying this together because we got to look past, in the past, to also look forward. Fast forward 13 years, the same guy is the one that Merrick Garland picks to go after Donald Trump, who has these expansive views of criminal law. You have to understand here what is at play and what is at stake and who's making the calls. That is the same guy today that is doing all of this litigation in Florida and in D.C. against the former president. I'm pointing this out because this two-tier system of justice, look at it in the context. We talked about this earlier in the week, in the FBI going to the high-tech company saying, hey, don't put this story out about Hunter Biden's laptop. Russian disinformation, when they knew it wasn't Russian disinformation. They're putting their hands on one side of the scale to silence other voices And that's just not the way it's supposed to work. Your support's critical. Go to our Life and Liberty Drive at ACLJ.org. That's ACLJ.org, the Life and Liberty Drive. Your gifts will be doubled. And this is important, folks. I'll be blunt. These legal fights are expensive. I brought in an expert team, outside lawyers that are now affiliated with the ACLJ that have represented presidents. That's how we beefed up the team for this. It's that important. Go to ACLJ.org, support our Life and Liberty Drive. We're ending the second week. We're going into the weekend now. We really need your support on this. Very important. ACLJ.org for the Life and Liberty Drive. You become part of that team, standing with us so we can stand with them.